Hello and welcome to Race Tech Radio. Race Tech Radio is a weekly podcast based on racing and technology news. I am Yannick Martin, and alongside me is Justin Ritchie. You can check out all the topics we cover at racetechradio.com. So first up, I think we do have A1GP results.
Yes, A1GP results from New Zealand. So the sprint race, the first person which finished was Germany, which set the fastest lap, France, and then New Zealand, and there were 3 retires. And funny enough, in the feature race, it was the same podium finish. Germany in first, France in second, New Zealand in third, and there were 4 retires.
Wow.
Germany once again setting the fastest lap. Very coincidental that the podium was doubled. Isn't that funny? So now I guess we'll just go over the season standings so far.
Yes, so far Germany leads with a big advantage of almost 20 points over the other nations. Secondly is France, New Zealand, Great Britain, Mexico, and all of the others, obviously.
Canada is in 9th with 29 points. So we are on race 6 of 12, so we are halfway through the season, so hopefully we can catch up somehow and win.
Of course.
We're only in 9th, and that's not too far behind.
It's less than half the points of the leaders, but...
And it's only halfway through.
Of course.
So go figure. Alright, so I guess we're on to our first news article of the day. Alright, so Yamamoto, Sakan Yamamoto, is joining GP2. You may know him as the Super Guri test driver. He signed earlier this week with BCN Competition. I don't know how to say that. How would you say that? Competition.
Competition, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. It's like a French version of competition.
Not a French version. More like... well, maybe... good question.
Yeah. So the other driver, the second driver, is to be announced. Last year, it would have been Timo Glock, but he signed with iSports. That's too bad. But which Timo Glock is also going to be the test driver for BMW in the Formula 1. So I think that's interesting. A lot of test drivers have came from GP2, but not many actually continue to race in GP2 while they are testing for Formula 1.
Yeah.
Like Lewis Hamilton, well, he's not actually testing, but he's actually racing. So that's all we have for that article.
And
there's that. What were you gonna say there?
No, I was just almost going to change the story there.
Yeah, I think it's about that time. There's we apologize once again because there is not a whole lot of news in the racing world other than a little itsy bitsy like, oh, they released their car, they're testing their car. You know, nothing really newsworthy. So the next story.
The next story is Villeneuve to race in Le Mans 24-hour races. According to French press, Jacques Villeneuve will join Mr. Bourdais and Marc Henné for the Le Mans 24-hour team of Peugeot.
Yep.
It's something Villeneuve definitely always wanted to do, and he's going to have the chance to do it this year. Alongside 2 Frenchmen. And well,
funny enough.
Yeah, we all know that Villeneuve he was quite unsure what he was going to do this season. Obviously, he tried to get into NASCAR, and he was unable to sign a contract and everything, and he got kicked out of BMW at the end of the last season. And at least he got something to do there for this summer, at least.
And Le Mans is a whole lot of fun. You know, I can see how he's excited about that. So he will be driving for Peugeot. He'll be driving the Peugeot 908. His other teammates will be Nicholas Manassassen, Stéphane Sazarin, Pedro Lamy, Marc Jean, and of course Sebastian Bourdais. And that will be at Monza on April 14th. I watched Le Mans last year. Did you?
Nope.
Okay. Because they had the coverage online, which was awesome for the most part. It was down a fair bit during the beginning, but then they got their servers all fixed, and for the last part of the race, it was all good. There was only the vehicle sounds. There was no commentary, so that was excellent. Because Speed's coverage just wasn't that great.
Okay.
You know, I just didn't like it a whole lot.
Okay.
They didn't show the full 24 hours, which is a pain in the ass, especially if you want to watch it. And of course, what was in there? NASCAR. You know, so it's like, why do you interrupt this great sport that we're trying to watch with crap?
Yeah.
But they did play it all through the night and all through the AMs, so that was good on their behalf. But hopefully they do the full 24 hours. Like, I wonder if they're going to do the full 24 hours of Daytona.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it, because all their NASCAR drivers will be in there, right? Well, a few.
Yeah, but
Anyways.
it's a hard thing to present Le Mans, the 24-hour race, on television, because scheduling a 24-hour programmation is quite a difficult thing to do.
It is. And as last year, some guy presented, he's like, you know what? We should start a station that does nothing but endurance racing. And they're like, you know, they would have, 24 hours of Nürburgring and Sebring and, all the endurance races. And that way they could show the whole race.
Yeah.
And
But it was very interesting, of course.
Yeah, for sure. It was great to see it online, though. I really hope they do that again, because you do want to watch the race start to finish. Because who wants to, step in halfway through the race? Hopefully the satellites work better, because the cameras froze a lot last year. But
that's no good.
Who knows? Anyways, next story.
A little funny story we found there today. McLaren bans drivers from drinking. McLaren team boss Ron Dennis has banned his lineup, Mr. Alonso and Hamilton, from drinking alcohol during the 2001 F1 season. The only alcohol they'll be permitted is champagne when they win and stuff like that. It's something funny compared to Raikkonen's behavior that we've already talked about on the show, did we?
Yeah, for sure. It's funny that they enforce these rules once he leaves.
Yeah, because
That's kind of funny.
It would have been something hard to put on him, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's like, now that we've learned our lesson, we're going to enforce this rule. That's kind of funny. I find that hilarious. That's kind of funny, because then they'll find the alcohol very soothing when they win, so maybe it's more incentive to win.
Of course.
Alright, well, just a small tidbit, which is rather funny. Very timely. Alright, well, on to recalls. Recalls we covered in the past were with Nintendo and such. Well, now it's time for the vehicles. So, General Motors recalled 1.4 million. 1.4 million.
That's a lot.
Cars. Yes, cars.
But it's a lot less than last year, though.
Yes, in 2005, they recalled 5 million. So, maybe they're smoothing out the cracks and getting better at production, but for American cars, I highly doubt it. The Ford company, of course, had 1.7 million recalls, and compared to last year, in 2005, there were 6 million recalls. Chrysler had 2.3 million recalls, and 2005 they only had 77 765,000.
That's real problems going for Chrysler Group.
Yeah, it's drastically changed from 2005, from being one of the better, and now this year being one of the worst.
An over 200% increase in recalls.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And finally, Nissan had 1.3 million recalls, and last year was 709,000.
So that makes for the U.S. industry really a 38% decrease in car recalls, but there are some groups that did well, but others that did real bad, as we've seen with the Chrysler Group.
Yeah, the Chrysler, that's such a hit, from going from 700,000 and something to 2.3 million. You know, like where GM and Ford, they improved.
Yep.
That's a huge hit for Chrysler.
Definitely.
Well, anyways, on to more recalls. The Honda Accords from 2005 and 2006 are being recalled. 81,000 of them. The sensors on the vehicle that detects the driver's position in the seat was potentially attached in the wrong place and also potentially over-tightened. So the real issue is the wiring that the sensor could break and cause the sensor to fail. So the airbag warning light and causing the bag in a crash to inflate at full pressure.
Ouch.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be able to detect where you are, or what have you. So
It's
could
not a
be
good
dangerous.
thing. Very dangerous.
Glad they're recalling those though.
Yeah, but that's still it's tough on the companies, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, 81,000. Yikes. Anyways, next story.
On to some technology now. A PC that you can install in your wall?
Absolutely. It's called Jack PC, and it's like one of these thin clients. And it's actually a server client, so you do need a main PC. And it's ideal for businesses where you would have like a main PC in the closet, and then you would just distribute them throughout the office, and then all you have to do is plug in a monitor and a keyboard and a mouse, and there you go. It would be perfect for like call centers, right? So you don't actually have to plug them in with a power cord. You can use power over Ethernet, right? So they're all connected via LAN. The operating system is Windows CE, which I'm not too excited about, but you could run Linux on it.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. It runs an AMD processor, which you run yourself.
Great.
And it's equivalent to 800 megahertz, or it could, that's the low end, but the high end could run up to 1.2 gigahertz. So there is a fair bit of power to it.
Yeah, for a small thing like that, definitely.
Yeah, for tiny thing. It's 20 times less energy. It uses 20 times less energy than a desktop PC. So that could save, if you fill your whole office with those, it would save a bundle on
that's for sure.
energy, for sure. Except for they are rather pricey, which we will get to in a minute. The low-end one has 32 megabytes, and the higher-end one has 64 megabytes of flash memory, 64 or 128 megabytes of RAM. There's 4 USB 2 ports. It's only 86 millimeters wide, so it's about double the size of your normal outlet for your power cords. And it's 39 millimeters deep, so it only sticks out of the wall about 13 millimeters. So it's not an inconvenience at all. It's pretty much like just having another power outlet.
Yep.
So it can't handle like Photoshop and stuff like that, but for business stuff like Word and Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint, all these things, that can work on a basic computer,
Yeah,
you know? So it's not going to replace your desktop, but if you just need to, search the internet, if you need to type up a Word document, it's perfectly fine for that.
Of course, it's a nice little PC that you can do pretty much anything with it. The problem that really limits it's the video memory that's just so small.
Yes. But what do you need it for, really? When you're just using it for the office.
It's really just a little PC that you can have fun with on the internet and listen to music, I guess.
Yeah. Now the price point is a little steep, though.
Yeah.
For the basic one, it's about $480. There are 3 models, and the highest one is $800. That's in Canadian currency. And they are from the UK, so you can order it from them. But if it's for a business, I can see this working because you wouldn't have to pay so high on electricity bills. But other than that, I don't know. If it was a little lower in price, I could see putting one in every room of my house. Otherwise, you're best to just buy a Mac Mini.
Yeah, it really depends what you're gonna do with it. It's nice for the style and the idea, but it doesn't have enough power to do the daily things, really.
Yeah. So
depends on
that's
your
all
needs
for that.
Again.
I would totally buy one. I would buy one, but I don't think I would put one in every room of my house because that would get really expensive. Because, sometimes you just want to go on, check your email, and write a document or two, There's no need to dabble into the Photoshop and such, right? Totally understandable.
Of course.
So the next story
is something we've kind of talked about last week when Apple introduced the Apple TV. But someone came out with an Apple TV and a Mac Mini comparison, and which one would be the best for the price.
The Apple TV price is $300 American, and the Mac Mini is $600. So they do vary in price, but there are ups and downs to each, of course. The Apple TV, which was announced at Macworld Expo in January, I'm not as excited about it as I once was, but I would very well set up a Mac Mini as a PVR, and it could double as a PC.
Of course. I like really the idea of the Apple TV, how it was, but the problem with it was it didn't offer as much as it could have offered. In this little comparison chart that we found, it shows the different. It compares the Apple TV to the Mac Mini, and what you could actually use and what each has. And the comparison is quite interesting, actually, because it shows how the Apple TV is good and not as good as at the same time. So if we look at the comparison, for example, Justin already said about the prices, the Mac Mini definitely costs at least twice as much as the Apple TV. But if we look at the comparisons, the Mac Mini definitely offers a bit more than the Apple TV.
A lot more.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Alright, well, the audio output. The Apple TV has HDMI, which is funny enough because it doesn't even support HD.
Yeah.
Optical audio, analog RCA, stereo audio. And then the Mac Mini has combined optical, digital audio output, and headphone out.
So it's not that bad. Pretty much the same, I'd say.
Pretty much the same, I would say. Yeah. And the hard drives, there's not much big of a difference there. But if you are using it for a PVR, you would want more a huger hard drive.
Of course.
You would probably want in the hundreds, probably 200 or maybe even a terabyte. Depends how much TV you record. So the Apple TV has 40 gigabytes and the Mac Mini has 60.
But the advantage of the Mac Mini as well is when you order it, you can increase the size of the hard drive, which you can't do with the Apple TV.
Yeah. Do you know how big of a hard drive
I
you
think
can fit in
the
there?
biggest they offer so far on the Apple site is 120 gigs.
120. That would be a fair bit.
Hmm.
That'd be a fair bit, because even if you were getting HD content, that's like 100 and, well, a few movies. And here's the killer for me. The Apple TV doesn't have a CD or DVD drive, where the Mac Mini has a combo drive.
Mm-hmm.
So that kills it for me, because there you go. Now you can watch your DVDs, you can back them up.
Exactly. That's a very big plus for the Mini, because if you have already movies or whatever things you really want to, you already have in hand, you can simply pop it into the Mini rather instead of using your comp through the Apple TV and all.
That's the no-brainer right there. That's what does it for me. The combo drive. Onto the processor. The Apple TV only has a 1 gigahertz Pentium.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a massive machine.
It's not
but
very tough.
Then again, Mac Mini isn't either, with a 1.6 gigahertz Intel Core Duo.
And I think that one too is upgradable to at least 1.8.
Well, that's not much of an upgrade.
No.
But
For the price,
once again,
it's not worth the upgrade there.
yeah, it's not a powerhouse PC, of course.
Of course.
So,
For the RAM, the Apple TV actually offers half the RAM the Mac Mini does. The Apple TV only offers 256, while the Mini actually offers 512, and that too is upgradable to at least a gig.
really, a gig?
Yeah. The Apple TV, if we compare the software between the both, the Apple TV only offers the Apple TV interface, which is some kind of modified front row thing, while the
It's nice.
Yeah,
It's nice.
it's
I like
simple.
it.
It's very Apple-like, where it's simple
Yeah.
and you find exactly what you want where you want it. But the difference is Mac Mini offers, it's a computer, therefore there's Mac OS X, OS 10 I should say.
Yeah.
There's iLife, there's front row to use as with the TV and all. So the Mac Mini definitely offers a lot more right there.
Yeah. It's more of a computer than just a standalone PVR, It's more of the Myth TV aspect. So then the video RAM, it has NVIDIA, the Apple TV has the NVIDIA G72M with 64 megabytes of DDR2 video memory. With the Mac Mini, it has Intel GMA 950 graphics processor with 64 megabits of DDR2 SDR RAM. So
it's pretty much the same thing on that level.
Yeah, there's not much need for upgrade there, really.
Mm-hmm.
Just to play back video, really.
Yeah, it's very simple right there. You don't need all that much. It's a little small video RAM for a computer if you want to use your Mac Mini as a computer. But if you really want to use it as a PVR, like comparing it to the Apple TV, it doesn't really make a matter.
Yeah.
For the wireless features, it's pretty much almost the same there too. The Apple TV offers the 802.11 BGN, while the Mac Mini offers it also, the 802.11 BG, and the advantage right there of the Mac Mini is it also offers Bluetooth 2.0. So it's a little plus. It's nothing really major, but
Now,
if there's
I
a
think
few things you want to like connect it or use it with, it's a little plus.
Yeah, Bluetooth would be great for like a remote control
Mm-hmm.
or even a keyboard or a mouse. Do you happen to know if they could upgrade the 802.11 to an N on the Mac Mini? Because I think I read somewhere that you can pay like $2 to upgrade to N draft.
That I do not know, but
Okay.
it must be possible in some way, or will be eventually.
Yeah, yeah. And then the weight really doesn't matter because it's just going to sit there. But the Apple TV is 2.4 pounds, and the Mac Mini is 2.9 pounds. So, once again, you're not really going to be moving it around, but if mobility matters to you, the Apple TV's lighter by 0.5 of a pound. And then the video output, of course, HDMI for the Apple TV and component video. And then with the Mac Mini, you have DVI, VGMA, which there's no M in there. I don't even know why I said VGMA. I don't know. That's in my mind from somewhere. And included adapter, S-Video, and composite video with optional adapter.
So, well, you have to pay a little extra for the adapter, which I don't think is all that much, but for what the Mini offers, it's worth it, the optional adapter, to use it as a PVR and all.
Yeah.
So, really, looking at both of these comparisons, the Apple TV makes you save, obviously, $300 compared to the entry-level Mac Mini, but the Mac Mini just offers so much more than the Apple TV can offer. The Apple TV is simply the syncing device to your TV with your computer, while the Mac Mini is a computer itself and offers a lot more hardware and software that it just makes it superior for the price, which is still a good deal.
Yeah. And this is the entry-level Mac, so you can play a little around with a Mac if you don't have previous experience with a Mac. So I would probably buy a Mac Mini. I would play around with it first and then turn it into a PVR.
It's a good alternative, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's the cheapest Mac out there.
It allows you to play around with a Mac at the same time and experience the Mac, the Apple way of making computers.
Yes, the Apple Wave.
Of course.
I'm still a little upset that they didn't introduce Leopard.
Yeah, but it's coming this summer eventually. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Anyways, that's about it for that. As I said before, the Apple TV is not as exciting as I thought it would be when they announced it. So this is a good, insight to say, what, there are other choices by Apple if you want to stay in those realms. And it's a good alternative too.
Of course.
It's like double the price, but you get what you pay for.
And definitely you get at least double the
performance.
everything.
Yeah. And you can upgrade everything on the Mac Mini as well. So definitely get a huge hard drive because, especially if you're storing HD content, it will get rather hefty.
Yep.
Also, I believe the Mac Mini has USB ports.
Of course.
So you can back that up to a portable
hard drive.
Device. Yes.
And that's also the advantage. For example, you can get the Mac Mini with the biggest hard drive available at Apple, the 120, I do believe, and then you can buy a portable hard drive at 250 or 300 gig, so you have a huge hard drive right there.
Yeah, you could store all your movies on there, and then just plug them in when you want to watch them.
Exactly.
Brilliant. All right, next story. Driver series heading to the Wii. So it appears that way. Driver, have you ever played Driver the game?
Maybe once, but I don't really remember.
Okay. Okay, well, Driver, personally, was one of my favorite games.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot like Grand Theft Auto,
Okay.
except for it was three-dimensional before Grand Theft Auto. If you remember the first Grand Theft Auto, it was from bird's eye view, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, 1 year after that was released, Driver, You Are the Wheelman, I believe it was called, was released. And that was in three-dimensional. And you can actually drive and steal the cars. And it's exactly like Grand Theft Auto, except for it was always a little different because the storyline was a little calm or tame. You know, GTA has always been really out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because Driver, you do it in the name of the law. You know, you're Tanner and you're a cop. Where Grand Theft Auto, you're just a thug. Anyways,
well, you can be a good person there, but
you can be.
It's more more fun being the thug.
That's true. That is true. Anyways, Ubisoft bought the Driver series from Atari back a few months ago, and so now they're going to introduce it for the Wii, and also for the PS3 and the Xbox. So I really love this game, as I've said before.
Mm-hmm.
I played the most recent one, Parallel Lines. I felt it was good, but the steering was a little too twitchy.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't steer smoothly. You would be either turning left or right.
Okay.
So that was kind of annoying. Other than that, I really liked it because there were different parts of town where you could go and do different jobs, but there were different racetracks. So you could race at a racetrack and gain money by either winning or setting a fastest lap.
Okay.
And then you could go to the next racetrack and do so. And I really like that. I think this is the perfect platform for a video game. I just wish they would make it more of a sim than arcade game, right? Because this would be perfect for online. You could play there, and everyone would be driving different cars. It would be really awesome.
Of course.
It's the perfect platform. Anyways, it is coming to the Wii. So if you have a Wii, look out for that because the next game is coming soon, which is in development, so we've heard. Also, in 2008, they are planning on making a Driver movie, which is also rather exciting because I would like to see that.
It's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah. Funny enough, I actually I got Driver, the original, about a week ago for the PC.
Okay.
And bringing back a whole lot of the memories. Really, really enjoyed it. That's all I can say about that. So, next story. Halo 3. Halo 3 has the beta out now. So, what they're doing is they have 13,333 openings for the beta test. So, you have to play Halo 2 for 3 hours between February 1st at 12:01 a.m. and February 3rd, 11:59, and that's Eastern Standard Time. And then go to halo3.com and register. And then if you made it in time, they will send you what have you, and you will be able to play online the Halo 3 beta. Now, if you don't get a spot, if you're not one of the 13,000, you can go by Crackdown, which comes out on February 20th, and that comes with an invite as well.
Okay.
Now, I was a huge fan of Halo 2. I used to own it up all over the place. And I kind of miss it, but playing Halo 3, the beta, would be a lot of fun. Because Halo 2, it's not what it could have been, but they're saying Halo 3 is going to be a whole lot better. So if you do have an Xbox and Xbox Live, go play a little and give yourself a chance to, play Halo 3 the beta.
Yeah.
The thing I did like about Halo 2 was it pretty much evolutionized the way you played online. Because there was Xbox Live before, but we never saw it like this before. With the I can't remember what it was called, but it was like the multi-match, and it would find opponents for you, and you could find people for a team. Like you could go like 2 people together, and then 2 other people would join your team, plus another 4 for the other team. It was a whole lot of fun. I liked Halo 2 while it lasted. But then people just got too good. And then I went back to my computer because they're too damn good. Anyways, while we're on the topics of games,
Yes.
I have been a huge gamer in the past, and
Still is.
Still am. Yeah, I play True Combat from time to time, and Live for Speed. I try to every once in a while. I don't know. I've kind of gotten away from it for some reason. Anyways, we're going to talk about our favorite games of all time. My favorite game of all time is Hitman, the series. So, have you heard of Hitman?
Just a bit. I never played the actual game, but
Never played? Right.
no.
I can see that. It wasn't the most popular game of all time. But it was one, you could say, unique. So the idea was, the guy that you play is Agent 47, and he's an assassin for hire, right? And so pretty much the story of it is he's a genetically engineered assassin, and he's created from the DNA of 5 of the world's most dangerous criminals. The 5 fathers, they call them, right? So anyways, they were trying to make the ultimate killing machine. Well, one of the fathers, which was the scientist, sent Agent 47 to kill the other fathers because they wanted to use the clones for themselves. So, put that aside, right? You're pretty much this assassin, which is not superhuman, but definitely enhanced. So you can run, you can wield a minigun in one hand, It's a little far-fetched, but of course, with the story, you accept that. So anyways, the gameplay is what really got me, was because it's unique and it's relaxed, right? There's many ways to complete the levels. It's like you could snipe, you could kill the mailman and then steal his clothes and then hide him in a dumpster and then deliver the mail and then break in, sort of thing. Or you could pose as the milkman, you could pose as a security guard. You could pretty much take your surroundings and use them to your advantage. And you could try... That was the best part of it, because you could play one level 50 times because every time it would be different. And that's what really got me hooked to the game. So there were 4 games, and there's actually a scheduled movie for it this year, but I don't think we'll see it this year. But I'm definitely excited about that, because it was my favorite game of all time.
Yes.
Now on to yours.
Well, I haven't actually had a favorite game of all time. I've been more of a medium player that gets attached to a game a lot during certain periods, where I play a game a lot, a particular game a lot, and then I kind of slack down and play another game really a lot. Out of all those I've played, definitely there are a few series that I've been attached to. I can think of the SimCity series, which have been a great success, and most people know what it is, obviously.
Yeah.
It's something I've always liked. I've always liked some kind of construction games and stuff like that. And I found the SimCity concept very fun. I've played all of them except the latest one, the SimCity 4. Unfortunately, I haven't played it yet, but it does seem a lot interesting, but some things kind of seem not to allow you to do them, like you don't have to build the roads and stuff
Yeah.
in the fourth one, which is something I kind of liked, how to design the things. And the others, I've played the first, the SimCity 2000, SimCity 3000. It's all great games that I've always been attached to and I always have enjoyed playing a lot. Another series I've liked a lot is the Ages of Empires series. I'm a big fan of RTS, though I haven't played all that much RTS games, but mainly the Ages of Empires games. I played and I have the second and third one. Something great, in my opinion, a great game, but
something great,
of course. But after a while, though, sometimes it gets a little boring because sometimes the game doesn't change all that much. If you get too used to it and you're getting a bit too good, just kind of ruins the fun sometimes. But it's definitely a great game, a great strategy game that I've always liked a lot. I've mainly played a lot the Ages of Empires 2 game. I've played that for years. I've really been attached to that one. I've got the Ages of Empires 3 game about a year ago or less. It has great graphics, great capabilities, but the problem with that one is just it doesn't seem to be as Ages of Empires as it could have been. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, this one is mainly based in the end of the Renaissance with the discovery of the New World of North America, and I don't know, the gameplay isn't the same as the old Ages of Empires games. It's not as entertaining and as I don't know, life-taking or something. It's just it's not as fun as the second one used to be.
Sequels tend to do that.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it hasn't appealed to me all that much. Playing mainly against the computer's not great in the Ages of Empires 3 game, so I started to play the campaigns there, the kind of the levels that you have to pass, the maps and all. That was a little bit better, more entertaining, but I couldn't play the game as much as, like, it didn't offer as much as it used to, that's for sure. It has great graphics and all, but it didn't have the Ages of Empires feel to it that the second one had.
Can you play it online?
I think you can, but I haven't actually quite found the way to. The second one is easier to play online. You simply log into your stuff, or you can play with your friends over MSN and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Much easier to play on the second one.
Because that would definitely spice it up.
Of course.
Online play is always great for video games.
Yeah, it really livens the game, and there's a lot more interaction and entertainment if you can play more than just yourself and the AI.
Yeah. Multiplayer games are phenomenal, especially when they're executed right over the internet.
Of course.
Like Halo 2.
Yeah.
Everyone beat the campaign within the first week. But to this day, it's still the most popular game on Xbox Live because of its terrific multiplayer.
Yeah, and there's so many stories about Halo 2 on the web. It's crazy.
My throat's really starting to hurt. I was sick this week, and we were actually thinking of delaying the show a little until I got better.
But of course, here at Race Tech Radio, with so much delays we've had this lately during the Christmas holidays, we said, no, we're keeping it weekly.
Yeah, we really didn't want to delay it again because we don't want to break the hearts of our loyal fans.
Of course, which
Anyways,
are becoming more and more people listening to us, which is a great thing.
yes, for sure. If you want, not many people do it, but you can go to dig.com under the podcast section and search for Racetech Radio. And you can dig us there. Also, Podcast Alley has us, and Podcast somewhere else.
Yeah, there are a lot of places that have
Yes.
us. iTunes has us. YouTube, we're now on YouTube, which you can listen to our podcast, but at the same time, there's images of the stories that we talk about that can appear on screen if ever you have really nothing to do. Usually at the beginning of the story, there's the image of the story just appearing, or particular images that we may refer to.
Yeah. So anyways, last story of the day. Our episode's rather short. Once again, we apologize because there's not a whole lot of news for racing at the moment. So Sean Kennedy, the fucking man, is back on the airwaves. That's right, SKTFM is back doing his internet deal. So back in June, he left to do his military activities. He used to do the newsreel, which was every day, and then it changed to every week.
Mm-hmm.
So, pretty much it started to die down after a while. So then he went to Ontario and he did his military training and such. And ever since then, that was about 6 months ago, ever since then, Sumerian, the station manager, has not released an episode of Patrolling, which is very upsetting. But now, into 07, Sean Kennedy is going to start doing newsreel once again. Not daily, but he will be doing it weekly. So that is good. Hopefully this will get Sim back in gear and he'll start releasing Patrolling again, because it's been about 7 months since the last releasal. And that's really annoying, especially when you're used to him releasing them every month like he used to. So hopefully he can get his ass in gear and we can start seeing the shows more often. So you can check that out at rantradio.com. That will be every Monday at 9 o'clock PST. So I'm very excited about that because I watch that show a lot, especially Patrolling. And, funny enough, Rant Radio, I'm doing best of What the Hell right now. I'm going to compile all the episodes over 2.5 years, and I'm going to find the best moments of them all. And that should be out, who knows, maybe next year. It's a lot. 3 hours every week it's difficult because that's a lot of audio.
It's a big project, but I'm sure it's going to be something great.
I'm very excited about it.
Yes, so that's pretty much it for the episode this week. You can check out all the stories we've mentioned on the show today at racetechradio.com. Also, if you want to send us a comment or anything pertinent to us, you can do it through the form on our website, or you can send us a direct email to racetechradio@gmail.com. So that's pretty much it. We hope to have you again next week. I'm Yannick Martin, and
I am Justin Ritchie.